Again, that tornado warning in effect next 10 minutes. I think it'll be allowed to expire on time. Again, the National Weather Service in Raleigh playing it safe, which is a great idea because this storm has a history of producing damage and producing a tornado. So just to be on the safe side, Weather Service issuing that warning. That tornado watch in effect for areas basically Oxford, Henderson, south to Raleigh, south into the Sandhills. That tornado watch that is in effect until midnight tonight. That's a tornado watch that's in effect for those areas. It's mainly north of there, and especially that northwestern corner of Person County, extreme northwestern Person County, just getting clipped by that what's called a supercell that has produced a tornado, at least during the past couple of hours, across the areas of the Piedmont north and west of Raleigh and Durham. And there it is. We have it in the time lapse, and you're seeing those what we call little shear markers, or those circles indicating where the radar is indicating some rotation. And certainly we have to take this very seriously because these have a history of producing tornadoes because they're riding along this boundary that is allowing these storms to rotate. And certainly with reports of not only tornadoes, but one report of possibly a significant tornado, a large tornado. This was indicated by a trained storm spotter. But again, the storm is now moving into south central Virginia, right around U.S. Highway 58. As you can see right there, quite a bit of lightning with this, but just on the northwest corner, you're getting quite a bit of heavy rain, maybe a little bit of hail, and certainly some gusty winds, maybe not associated with a tornado, but right on the northwest corner of Person County right there. This is just north of Hyco Lake, as you can see right here, Chris. That's where the lake is, and it's just to the north there. Yeah, and it now looks like this is the latest, what we call our velocity data, and we look for where those areas of green and red come together, and it looks like that is now shifting into Halifax. There it is. You can really see it right there. There's the one little what we call couplet now moving into Halifax County, Virginia, right around the Danville area, but now moving away from Person. So I think, Chris, from what we're seeing here, the tornado threat is rapidly diminishing over northwest Person County, but we're also watching another little area of possible rotation with the next storm that's now north of Greensboro, and we'll put this into motion. Looks like that one's riding along the same boundary right there, Chris, and that may be moving back into Caswell County. We'll have to see if that indeed moves back over the same area, but that's the one thing about these storms that's been so menacing. Areas keep getting hit over and over. Right, and it's been, fortunately for us, but not fortunately, obviously, for the Triad region back towards Charlotte, it hasn't really affected us during the evening hours, except right now over northwest Person. And as you can see on that radar loop, again, it's just skimming the northwestern corner there of Person County, moving into southern Virginia. So more than likely, this tornado warning has about 4 minutes left. It'll expire, and we'll let you know that and get you back to regular programming, assuming it does indeed expire. But you see these thunderstorms now into Alamance County. Even though there was a tornado warning there, that expired at 11 o'clock. So folks, Burlington, those areas, no imminent threat of severe weather, but this line has produced severe weather during the evening hours as it pushed across the western Piedmont. It has weakened a little bit, at least temporarily, but still heavy rainfall, some cloud-to-ground lightning. Not a lot of lightning, but there is some. You see a few cloud-to-ground strikes there, and stretching back into Randolph County. This will be advancing towards the east and southeast. It's been kind of sitting over the northwest Piedmont around the Triad region back to Charlotte during the late afternoon, early evening. It's now advancing a little bit to the east and will continue to do so. So this line of storms and others that are out ahead of it will continue to develop. Again, no severe weather right now. We put in the reflectivity here, and we'll go ahead and zoom you out and show you that this line extends all the way to the north up towards Person County as well, and this extends up towards Roxborough, and Person County, you are in this warning as well. As you can see, extends to the north, but basically the main threat with this storm up to the north will be damaging winds and maybe quarter-size hail as well, particularly just to the northwest of Hillsborough. But the tornado warning is for this one little area that is now pushing out of Alamance County and now pushing into Orange County, as you can see right there. Again, we'll put on some of these storm tracks here and give you an idea of where the storm is headed here. Right in this location here, you can see it's moving to the northeast, and here's some of the towns that would be in the possible path of this tornado. This would be Cedar Groves over towards the Arrowhead area, Caldwell, Bushy Fork, and also into southern Person County around the Timberlake area. This tornado warning is in effect until 12:15
And again, it is moving off towards the north and east at around 35 miles an hour. And so even if there isn't a tornado with this, there certainly could be some gusty winds as high as 58 miles an hour or higher, or some quarter-size hail. But again, we'll go ahead and zoom you into the area most likely where the tornado could be, where the Doppler is indicating some rotation that we were seeing. And this is just to the west and southwest of Hillsborough, as we put on the right of your screen there. And what we're seeing is this little area where the radar is indicating some rotation. It's now crossing I-85 and 40 between Mebane and over towards the Hillsborough area as well. Chris Homan is here. He's been tracking this as well. Chris, we saw this signature form in Alamance County, and it is continued to push on towards the north and east, and still showing signs of some possible rotation there.
Yeah, this has been, we've been watching all through the afternoon and evening, Scott, that caused this line of storms, which caused the damage and even some injuries back towards the Triad. It weakened a bit. We mentioned that just a few moments ago, but then has re-energized just a little bit. And this line of storms now stretches from Roxborough, if anywhere really from Roxborough into northern sections of Durham County, and especially northern Orange and eastern Alamance County. You want to go ahead and take cover. No reports of a tornado on the ground, but again, this has a history of producing damage. This line of storms over the Triad region around High Point and other areas of Guilford County, and some injuries. There's nothing to fool around with this storm. We're all under a tornado watch until 5. This continues to advance towards the east and northeast at a pretty good pace now. The individual storms in this line are moving at about 50 miles an hour, while the whole line itself is not going nearly that fast, more like 20, 25 miles per hour. But anywhere in those counties where it goes a little confusing there, because you see two boxed areas. The outer area that's orange, that's the severe thunderstorm warning that's in effect until 12:15. But within that is the tornado warning in effect from Roxborough again into northern Orange County, around Hillsborough and areas to the north of there, and into eastern Alamance County too. So Arrowhead, Gordonton, Roxborough, Oak Hill, up towards the Virginia border in the next hour or so. This storm will be advancing again pretty rapidly. You see there moving to the east-northeast at about, or northeast at about 45 miles per hour.
Let's go to Weather Source 2 here, because I'm zoomed out here, and what you'll be able to see when I put this into motion is what we call this little area of rotation. And I'll go ahead and show you where you're seeing these little what we call storm, these lines or storm paths here. And you can see a little circle that shows up right between Burlington and Hillsborough. Let me go ahead and zoom into that area, and you can see some of the areas right along I-85 and 70 between Mebane and over towards the Hillsborough area. And now this is shifting off towards the east, and the very latest image we have now is just to the northwest of Hillsborough, around Jordan Oak, over towards Walker's Landing, and just now pushing into the Arrowhead area. We don't have confirmation of a tornado on the ground, but an indication of some rotation along this line. And since we've already had numerous reports of tornadoes with this line earlier this evening, we have to take this very seriously, as you should with any tornado warning. As we'll go ahead and lay down this road here. This is U.S. We'll go ahead and lay it down here, just around through the Arrowhead area, State Highway 86, moving north out of Hillsborough. This is where this area of circulation is going to head. So if you live over towards Arrowhead, get to a place of safety as this is headed in your direction. Again, you can see the motion of it pushing off towards the north and east, crossing I-40 and I-85, and now pushing into the areas, as you can see, where we're seeing this little line. In fact, I'll put a storm track here and I'll show you some of the areas that are impacted by this. Again, you can see right here some of the areas around Walker's Landing, Cedar Grove, the Kenwood Estates, and Arrowhead and Deer Run. You can see some of the times right there. Let me zoom out a little bit farther, and you can see this is going to be moving up into southern Person County as well. There's a storm track moving in towards Timberlake as well. Again, we'll go ahead and put down the radar imagery here. And Chris, it looks like also there certainly could be some hail with this, and even if there isn't a tornado, we could be seeing winds that could be gusting as high as 60 miles an hour that aren't tornadic, but certainly could cause some damage.
The only warning we have is the one now for Person County, Alamance County, northwestern Durham, and now the tornado warning for Alamance actually has been lifted. It's it's northern Orange, right. Southern 2/3 basically of Person County, and extreme northwestern section sections of Durham County under that tornado warning. And that's the sort of purple area. Inside that is where the tornado warning in effect now. So if you're in Alamance County, the threat of severe weather in terms of a tornado, that has diminished because this line of storms advancing eastward, approaching Roxborough now, right over Hillsborough, especially north of there, but then stretching back towards the Alamance, Orange County line.